J Drone here, Bugs 2SE there, AIO AIO. That's an AKK AIO 200 milliwatt camera on there, and it will be powered by a 3.7 volt. I believe that is a 450 milliamp an hour battery. We will be using the eSheen OTG setup, which will go to a cell phone. Inside of that, we are using the stock controller. This is not bindable to the jumper yet. One thing that I've noticed, and I will be recording via its stock camera on there, I will also be recording the FPV flight through the camera that will be in there, is the frames per FPS, frames per second, or I think it's FPS, that it's recording has been rather low. On 32 gig, it was really low. It was like 20 some odd. I put a 16 gig in yesterday, it was like 23, 24. I'd like to see 30 FPS, so I have an 8 gig in. So maybe the lower, maybe this can only take a lower card. We'll find out. Let's go.
All right, guys, here we go. FPV from the AIO AKK 200 milliwatt that we have on top, and we're gonna go ahead and take off here. You can see to the left and right we are using the Bugs 2. You can see the silver paint on it and whatnot. We will switch to the Bugs 2's camera, but for the first little run out, we are going to do it through the FPV here. That way you guys kind of get a view of the FPV. Now, I was getting some breakup, some static there. I usually don't get that close. Usually I get this pretty clean on the way out, all the way out, but we did have a little bit there. Maybe there was something that was interfering with that, but no issues. We're able to keep going, and there was a little bit more right there, and we're cruising. Now, this is not a fast flight by any means. I had somebody in Drone Days. If you don't know what Drone Days is, it is the best Facebook group on Facebook for drones. I had somebody ask me how fast I was going. I calculated that we were moving about 15 miles an hour, which really isn't fast at all, but it was a cruise. It was a nice cruise out. I believe I was fighting wind, that I was actually nose down into wind on this run, and we're going to go ahead and switch it over to the camera here in about 3, 2, 1, and bam. Camera time. There we go. As you can see, the camera's on the bottom of the drone. The AIO was on the top of the drone, so you get different perspectives, and we are nose pitched down, so you get a more ground level look from the camera. The camera's not bad. The quality of the camera's not bad as far as the video goes. I would like to see this video get about record at about 30 frames per second. Most I've been able to get out of it is about 24 frames per second, and that was with an 8 gig card. A 16 gig card, I got about 22 frames per second, and a 32 gig card, I got about let's see here, I got about 20 some odd frames per second, which gives you a little bit of a jumpy feel. I mean, it is a little bit windy, so you are having a little bit of the bouncing here, but I do believe that it could be a lot better if it was shooting at 30 frames per second. Again, all in all, it's not bad, but it could definitely be better. And I don't think it's the cold that's messing around with the recording of the frames per second. I don't think it's that at all, because I've been out in cold weather. I've been out with the Spark in cold weather, with the Phantom in cold weather, and we really haven't had those issues. And I think I've even been out with the Bugs 2W in cold weather. So we are going to be nearing the 999 mark. J-Drone, how do you know that you are nearing the 999 mark? You have goggles on. Well, the goggles that I'm wearing allow me to actually look down from the screen in front of my face and see the telemetry on the controller, which is great, which allows me to do this: pop my head up and pivot left, right, as you just seen right there. That's my also visual confirmation that I can show you guys we're at the 999 mark. Now, we did go considerably further. We actually went, let's see here, we went out at 1,217 meters. By the time we end up turning around here, 1,217 meters, which is 3,992 feet, which also corresponds to 0.756 miles. We're about a quarter mile away from a mile as far as range goes, and the drone did go into return home mode here. It did go into return home mode, then it stopped, and then it started again. So that, for me, is going to be just about your max transmission from this controller, from the stock controller, without any type of modifications to the drone or the controller. It's passed the test, guys. I think my Bugs 2W might have went 0.2 further, 0.2 kilometers further, but all in all, dude, this is a ready to fly, out of the box GPS brushless cost-efficient drone, and it just about hit a mile. There's drones that you'll pay. Heck, look at a Breeze. Look at a Breeze. Though the Breeze originally retailed, I believe, for $399. I believe it was around there, and that thing can't go over 100 meters, let alone just about hit a mile, and hit 1,217 meters. So this is good money. This is definitely good money. I tell it how it is. I don't sugarcoat anything. The recording, which you're watching, the recording that was recorded, the SD card from the camera, it could be better. I would like it to be better. As far as the structure and the colors and the details, I'm fine with all that. I want the FPS, I want the frames per second to be up around that 30 mark, 30 frames per second. Because right now, it's not bad, but a good eye can see this is just a little bit choppy. Again, it's not bad, but I can see it. I'm very harsh on my videos. I'm very harsh on things that I put out there. I critique things a lot heavier than maybe most people will. Again, guys, we are still flying FPV here. The total run that I did, the total distance flown throughout this whole run was 2.773 miles. That translates into 4,463 meters. The whole run that this last leg of the run that you're ready to see, that was the total accumulated distance before this thing auto returned, because it did again auto return again, and then finally came down. Epic flight, guys. This is fun. If you want a little explorer drone, you want a little chilled, like this isn't speed to the wall, this isn't breakneck speed. If you want a chill run in FPV goggles, this might be the way to go for you guys. It absolutely might be the way to go. And this is relaxing. This is very relaxing. Myself, when I'm flying FPV, acro, a little bit speed, that's kind of like adrenaline pumping. This is chill. This is absolutely chill. Sure, getting out in long distance and whatnot, getting out to that final point before I decide to turn around, sure, your heart starts racing a little bit. But for the most part, this is a chill flight. This is a relaxed flight. This is a fun flight. Not to say that acro is not fun, but acro is probably quite the opposite of a chill flight, unless you're cruising up high and not trying to hit gaps and whatnot. I find acro to be a heart racing, adrenaline pumping type flight, where again, this is opposite. Again, guys, if you are on Facebook and you're not a part of Drone Days, definitely get with the times. It is the best drone group on Facebook. I will throw a link down to that. If you haven't checked out mjxrc.net, MJX is king. MJX is king in the toy grade world. I know a lot of people would like to call this a hobby grade drone. It's borderline hobby grade, toy grade. But as far as the, why don't we put it this way? As far as the affordable brushless drones go, MJX is king on that. Definitely check out their site. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, want to know about my setup, want to know anything at all, down below, use your keyboard, type, hit return. I will get back at you. My YouTubers, you guys, the people that follow me, commend me on getting back to people. I do that quite often, unlike some of the larger guys that will just ignore you. That ain't me. I'm here to conversate. I'm here to help, whatever you guys need. And that's the second abyss over there. That's the more aggressive abyss. I've actually only ever been down there once. And then we've entered return home here again. The drone is going to fly home here, and we are going to go over the first abyss, which is the much kinder abyss, where you can see trees along the one side and it's kind of barren on the other side. This flight is just about over. This was an epic flight. This was a long flight. And again, this is on the second LVC. The battery could have went longer, but as you guys let me know, if it's super close to you on the second LVC, it's just going to land. If it's super far from you on the first LVC, it's going to do a return home and come back. And that's information that I've gathered from you guys, because I don't like to read instruction manuals. So the information that you guys have given me is valuable, and I'm passing it along. I do appreciate the information. Look at the clarity. The clarity is pretty good. Again, I want that frames per second to be a little bit better, but look at those cars down there. They're not skipping. It's not huge frame skippage, but it's enough for me to notice and enough for me to want it better for you guys, to want it better for myself. Guys, if you have any other videos regarding the Bugs 2 SE that you would like me to do, any other testing that you would like me to do, definitely type down below. I'm willing to cater to you guys. I've catered these 3 videos pop, 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 really quickly. I spit these videos out quickly because you guys showed a large interest towards it, and there was lots of questions, lots of comments towards it. J Drone, why don't you do this? When are you going to do this? Bam, it's done. All the questions, all the comments, all the suggestions after this video are done, unless somebody gets down below and says, hey J Drone, why don't you try this? And then if you do type that down there and I find it reasonable and I find it feasible, I will absolutely do that. We are going back to the FPV, the AIO, again, kind of just to show you difference in a top mounted camera and in-bodied lower mounted camera. You get a different perspective, and that's the camera quality that you could expect from the AIO AKK 200 milliwatt camera, and that is coming from my cell phone, the DVR. You can see me kind of blindly walking towards with my goggles on, then I flip it up on top of my head. Once the drone sits down here, it shuts off its own motors. And then I pop open my goggles, I hit stop on my cell phone. Guys, if you haven't subscribed, smash the subscribe button, smash that bell. I will see you on the next video.